Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Eric Johnston Live. This is week 2 of our official relaunch. It's phase 2 Corona. It's week 2 back with Eric Johnston Live. You guys are meeting Professor Johnston this evening. I've never worn my glasses on anything public or on stage. But after watching the show back last week, I realized the amount of times I was trying to adjust my shitty contact lenses was very distracting, not only to me, but to our viewers. This is the second week back. A couple quick announcements and a couple quick thank yous, a couple quick, whatever things, a couple things, and then we're going to start the show. So first of all, a busy week here at Camp Eric Johnston, where you're surrounded by pictures of Eric Johnston. Yesterday, did a massive photo shoot with a legendary Toronto photographer named David Lays. This guy has shot everybody: Drake, Pharrell, Taylor Lautner, Alan Thicke, bands, and the Bare Naked Ladies. And I had to go get some new press and headshots because my previous press and headshots, I was like 35 pounds heavier. And, whatever. My weight goes up and down like a fucking yo-yo. But anyways, I wanted to have a newer look. I went and got a spray tan from my sister, Dash of Sun. Got my teeth whitened by Beam Whitening here in Stony Creek. I got a facial from my friend Alexa at the Beauty Slayer. And what else did I got? A haircut from MDMA. So thank you to all those people for being part of that and helping me out with that. We are back as always. My very good friend Chuck is in the room saying, "Hey, Eric, thank you, Chuck, for helping me bring back this show, motivating me to bring back this show, and always being in the comments." So, yeah, we're back. We're just gonna run into this. We have so much to talk about this week. I have the reason why we're doing this episode is because I experienced a hell gig just last weekend, and I'm like, okay, well, this is what we're doing on Thursday. And as I start every episode, I know. Listen, I'm also aware that we're competing with the debate right now. I mean, I wasn't aware, but then as I was promoting the show, someone's like, the debate's tonight at 9:00. I'm like, oh, nice. Yeah, that'll be good for views. So people are fucking. What I would suggest is have me on your tablet or on your phone or on your laptop, and then keep the fucking craziness on in the background. I appreciate all of you tuning in and watching this show. This is cool, guys. I want to thank everyone who messaged me last week after I came back and did the show and being like, that was so great. It felt like we didn't miss a beat. We're so great to see the show. And anyone who's watching the show right now, I will say to you, if you could, please, as I always do, share this stream. Share it. It takes 2 seconds. It opens up the audience to your friends and my friends and people who wouldn't necessarily have seen the show or now watching the show, all by just pressing the share button. And trust me, you're going to want to share this show. We have some heat coming our way because this episode is all about hell gigs, the worst gigs we have ever done as comedian. Now, originally, Michael Moses was supposed to be on this show with Tyler Morrison, but Moses actually booked a paying gig tonight hosting at Showtime Comedy in St. Catharines, and that show pays and this show does not. But the reason why I wanted to have Moses on is because Moses is usually with me when these fucking hell gigs happen. Moses and I have been touring together for years, and he's always there, and his reactions to these things are hilarious. However, I will do the stories justice. So before we get started, I'll remind you again, please, if you are watching this show, please share it. It takes 2 seconds. Share it with all your friends. Show people, that, hey, my friend's doing this show. It means a lot to me, and I would appreciate it if you did. And every time someone shares it, it goes up 15, 20 viewers. So I appreciate all of you sharers. I see you. I appreciate you guys in the comments. Let's get into this. This week, I'm not drinking gin and soda. I switched to beer. This week is a beer week because our guest is very Canadian, very good friend of mine, the roast master of Canada. Not only that, a hilarious touring professional stand-up comedian. His name is Tyler Morrison. And before I bring him on, I'm going to let you guys see a little bit of Tyler. He's got a special out called Too Soon, and this is the trailer for that special. So check it out.
So this is one of the reviews here. The main act, Tyler Morrison. was such a disgrace to the intelligence of comedians.
So I'm about 50-50 on school shootings. Hear me out, okay? On one hand, I'm against them. I got 2 kids, right? But on the other hand, my wife's a teacher.
There was a gentleman in a wheelchair and didn't enjoy a wheelchair joke that Tyler did, unfortunately, and walked him.
What? Are you in a wheelchair? Stand up so we can see you. Don't feel bad for the Catholic Church. Those guys are fucking up all the time, eh? How's that saying go again? People in stained glass houses shouldn't fuck kids. Seriously, how's ISIS pulling so much trim from over here? Those guys must be doing some amazing things when they go down on those girls. Don't believe me? I will break you, Toronto. I will fucking break you.
Tyler Morrison again, everybody.
Still muted. I was still muted. Okay, I'm not a complete professional at this. That is Tyler Morrison. That is his special Too Soon. He's one of my very good friends, and he's here for you right now. Please welcome Tyler Morrison, everybody.
Hey, thanks for having me on,
dude,
buddy.
look at you. Looking up in the Bracebridge shack, wood. It looks great.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, it's amazing. Most guys, they find any excuse that they can get to go and drink in their garage, be away from their wife. Somehow I made this my job. So.
You're like, I'm going to the studio.
yeah. I took me into a studio. Yeah, that's exactly it.
That's what I do here, but I escape my mom by going to the 3rd floor office area den section. It's the size of a closet, but I put a computer in it, and this is where I hang out. Dude, the reason why I brought you on this show, first of all, you're one of my favorite comics in Canada. If you guys want to get to know Tyler Morrison 123 on Instagram, and then you can follow his professional page on Facebook, Tyler Morrison. Check out his special, check out his YouTube. That's the plug. He's got not only that special, he's got multiple specials on there you can check out. The reason why I brought you on the show, first of all, because we're buds, we've known each other for years. We've even done some hell gigs together. But also because
your gig that you run.
yeah, we did a hell gig together. I ran it. No, we've done quite a bit of shows together, and you've been a comic for over 10 years.
Coming up 18 years, probably.
Okay, so doubled in 10 years. Yeah. So you've been around for a long time. I'm approaching 10 years on November 1st. We've both done our fair share of shows. We've had some amazing, fantastic, amazing tours and great shows. And you were on the celebrity roasts and done the celebrity roast down at Caroline's on Broadway in New York City, and you've done the roast at the Comedy Store in LA. But I know, just from talking to you and being your buddy, I know that you've done some fucking hell gigs, as have I. And that's the reason why I brought you on. Now, you and I are two kind of different styles of comedy. Obviously, you go into the roastier style, the darker stuff. I'm more of the energetic, not a clean, I swear and stuff. But it's funny to see those two worlds both have sometimes the exact same results of shitty gigs.
Well, we're all, anyone that gets on stage and touches that mic, you're all coming at it for the same purpose. And we are all going up against the same type of crowds because, every crowd is different. You don't just get those, your fans, until you're famous, you don't just get those softball, easy theater gigs where it's cherry.
People are just there. They're not there to see necessarily you. They're there to see a show. They just hear, and you and I both do a fair amount of touring, and you live up in the Muskokas, and I tour up in Northern Ontario all the time. Yep. The act is just going to the show. They don't even care who the fuck's on the show.
That's right. That's right. They go to see comedy, and hopefully they like it.
Yeah. I was in Sudbury and a guy came up to me and he goes, I've never even fucking been to a comedy concert. You were fucking hilarious. I've seen it on the TV my whole life, but I never fucking been. I didn't even know what the fuck. It's just like so excited, just again, for just the show. And then when you do well, it's fantastic. And then I'm sure, like, you know, I just recently got booed the fuck off stage after 10 minutes. We'll get into that story, but I want to. What's that?
It took that long?
Yeah. I had him at the start and then I lost him real quick. And I said, you know what? Fuck you people. And I slammed the microphone on the stage and I walked off. But I'll save that story for a bit. I want to know, kind of start with yours. I know you've got plenty. I just kind of off the top of your head, the one that goes to for you, you know, what's that story?
Oh boy. Okay, here's this one. This just kind of the one that you just said jogged my memory about one that I wasn't even going to talk about. So I got booked to do this gig. It was a real estate corporate, and like I can do clean shit, and it's okay. It's fine for me to do. It's not my general brand, but I have enough that I can, you know, you want to make some money in Canada. You have to be able to do it, right? You have
to do corporates. That's generally November, December is when I make the bulk of my money for the year.
Yeah. So I get hit up by the owner of this real estate company. It's his secretary. And are you allowed to call them that anymore? I don't know.
I don't know what you're allowed to say. Personal, I don't know. Assistant, I have no idea.
So she hits me up, but she hits up my like general email. And at this stage, I'm pretending to be my own agent. So John Carroll he's fielding the call.
That's amazing.
And John Carroll, very feared and prestigious agent in Canada. So she's like, she's like, my boss has seen Tyler's performance before, and he specifically is requesting him to do it. So we'd love to book him. And I'm like, okay, yeah, Tyler can do that. What are you looking for, right?
Yeah. I speak on behalf of Tyler. He can handle that.
Yeah, I'm talking in third person. Then she gets back to me. She says, well, and this guy's name is John too. My agent is John, and this guy's John. She goes,
okay.
She goes, John specifically requests that Tyler brings the Andrew Dice Clay, Louis C.K. level of filth to this engagement. I write back, are you sure? Yes, we are sure. I go, well, then that's great because Tyler would love to bring the Andrew Dice Clay, Louis C.K. level of filth to this engagement. So it's all set up, and I come in and I check out the crowd, and I'm scanning the room. It's not a good room for comedy right away. There's no stage. There is a speaker and microphone, no mic stand, but I bring my own everywhere I go. People think I'm insane.
Smart,
now that COVID's happened, it's just normal. But I was always I feel like when I show up with my own mic stand, I'm like that pool hustler that shows up with his own cue in a case.
He's like, get Laverne. You're screwing it up in the back.
This guy doesn't fuck around, right?
Yeah.
So I go in with that, and I look around, and like half the people can't even see there's a big fireplace in there. I talk to the owner. I go, listen, I'm looking at your crowd. I know you're saying bring the heavy artillery to this gig. Looking at your crowd, everyone here is like 40 to 70 years old. They do not want that level of film at this engagement. I go, so there's a couple options that we can do. I can do fully clean, and I'm happy to do that. I'm not going to charge anything different. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
I want to win, right? I want to kill. That's what I'm there to do.
And you already drove there. Yeah, and you're getting paid. So you're here. Fuck it.
It's in my hometown, though. It's in my hometown. So I didn't have to go far either. It's sweet. It was a sweetheart gig, right? On paper. And then and then I go, or I can start off clean, test the temperature of the room and work them up to a little bit dirty and just start, you unlock the doors here and there, and then you go a little bit further. And I think, maybe we can get them there. He looks at me. He just goes, if they don't like it, he goes, fuck them. If they don't like it, they can leave.
Don't give them that option, but okay.
I go, John, they're gonna. So he brings me up. It's a bad intro of the works, but I start off and I start really strong. I'm hitting, and it's like boom, 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 applause break city, to the point where for I'd say 15 minutes, I'm killing as hard as you can kill on a corporate.
Yeah.
And I do that little fist pump inside my head.
Yeah.
I go, I got these.
You got him. We fucking got him. Yeah.
I got him now. I got him now. Listen, I've never been killing that hard and gone into the biggest free fall where I just lost an entire fucking room. This has never happened on when I'm killing that hard. I've never gone from penthouse to basement. It was insane. I don't know what I said. I kind of have an idea maybe what triggered it, but at the time I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I think I did a joke about drinking and driving, and maybe someone was affected by a drinking and driving situation, right?
Yeah.
But it's on paper, it's a clean joke, really.
Yeah.
And especially in small towns, everyone's jokes about DUIs and shit, you know.
Yeah.
I do this joke, and about 5 or 6 people get up and they start walking out, but they're walking out with a purpose. It's not just, hey, we got to go.
Yeah, fuck this guy. Yeah.
They're leaving. And other people see it, then it's like, 12, 15. We get to about 25. There's 100 people there. We get to about 25. Just trying to think. Yeah, and I think around like 40 people gone. I just go, fuck it, we're going full in, and I just start unloading. And like it's like a mass exodus. People are just walking out.
Well, people get that mob mentality too, like they do in the comments online, where they're like, "Well, these people are offended, so if I'm not offended, if I don't at least look offended, then I look like I'm with him, and I don't want to be with him."
That's right. And it could have been someone who's influential within the company, and everyone, it's a company. So they know if this person had that happen to them, they know the story. I don't know the story. I haven't done anything malicious, but they're going to be sensitive to that, or show support to that. So I don't blame any of those fucking losers. Yeah. Any of those total dweebs. I don't blame them at all. But so we get to about 50 people have walked out, and it's just bloodbath. Like I'm going in 9/11 material, whatever. It's just anything I can say that's offside, I'm saying it. And we get to trying to think. Yeah, about 60 people have gone at this point. I do a joke about microwaving a cat. And and this woman yells out, "Not funny."
You don't like that? Fine with drinking and driving, but don't talk about cats.
Oh yeah, I think she was just on the far side of the room, so it was further for her to like eke out. I'm like, "Yo, you don't like that one? You're gonna hate this one, babe." And then I just drop like another. Like I'm just going into the well, just bringing out the worst shit. And the owner is sitting front row, laughing like a madman.
Oh yeah, I've had that before.
Hysterically laughing like a psychotic king.
Yeah.
And his wife is just got her head down. She's mortified, and he's just it's sickening, right?
I got paid for this. This is what I brought this here.
Yeah, he's enjoying it. And I ended up walking about 75 people out of 100.
Huge.
And it was
walk number.
And I did all my time. I think I did 40 minutes is what I was supposed to do. And I ended on a nice applause break. And then I go, "Oh, you're having fun now." And then I did another 5 minutes and just bombed on purpose just to drive it in.
Pound it into the ground.
The end of the show, it's all the kitchen staff comes out and they're banging the pots and pans and like cheering for me, and they're taking selfies with me. It was something else. I got paid, no problem. The guy loved it. It was exactly what he wanted. It was, this is before Cameo. He could have just booked me on Cameo.
I was gonna say, just wish him a happy fucking birthday.
So that whole thing, and then like at the end of the gig, I was about 15 minutes away from my house. I get on the phone. I just call my wife. I'm like, "Jenna," like, she's like, "How did it go?" I'm like, "There's 2 beers left in the house. I'd appreciate if they're in the freezer right now because I'm coming home and I'm going to need them."
Yeah,
it was just one of those things. But it's so when that type of situation is going on, it becomes combative.
Yeah,
no one was heckling me, but like there's a little bit of heckling, but not your traditional heckler. There's people that were audibly upset, and there's this tension, and like no matter how comfortable you are, you have like that kind of fight mentality, and you're kind of leaning into the mic and just driving it home. So you'll be like sore the next day from a performance like that.
Yeah.
We're really leaning in, and I was having fun up there. Like it was is kind of sadistic, but it is stressful because your goal is to win. You're not trying to
last week was the first time that I had ever submitted and said, all right, fine, you guys win. This is what you want. You guys fucking win. So I'll give you the Coles notes. I wanted to get into more of your stories. So first of all, I know with that corporate shit, the boss who books it is always the dirtiest fuck who loves comedy and wants stuff like that. And so I got booked to do something like that, similar, just quickly. And it was like a big awards gala Christmas party. They wanted me to perform, and he's giving me all this stuff to say. He's like, oh, that guy over there is divorced. This guy over here is a real fucking drunk. And blah, blah, blah. He's like, they love it. Go at them. These guys are all tradesmen, so they fucking love it. It's a tradesman of the year thing. So I listen to the guy and I go, whatever. So you drink it tonight? 'Cause I heard you drink it all the time. The entire audience just went, like, everyone shut the fuck down. And then I used to do a joke about drinking and driving at the end of my set. I go, that's it for me. Thank you so much. One last thing. If you're drinking, please don't drive. But if you're drinking and driving, take the back roads, which was always, especially Northern Ontario, got a huge
they relate.
pop. And then I did it somewhere, and they're just like, absolutely. Some guy yelled, absolutely not. I was just like, you fuck. And but anyway, so last 2 weeks ago, this guy at this bar in Milton messages me and goes, hey, welcome home. I just saw you got home from tour. How I'd like to have you at my bar in Milton. And I go, okay, cool. And right away, because it's COVID, I just go, yep. I don't even ask any fucking details. I go, yep. When do you want to do it? And he goes, well, we want to do it next week, next Friday. And I went, I go, that's not enough. You got to properly promote a comedy show, or people are not going to know that there's a comedy show. No one's going to be there for the show. He goes, no. We got a bunch of regulars. They love comedy. They've been asking me about comedy. They want to do a fucking show. And I go, okay, fine. I'll make a poster. Now, I like to make all my own posters because I'm in control of my own design and how it looks. Yeah, so I go, okay. I'll make the poster. Send me the information. And how much do you want tickets to be? And he goes, oh, no, we're thinking about having it for free. And I went, oh, fuck. I go, no, you can't do a free show because then they don't give a fuck about it. They didn't pay for this, so they're not invested in it. I go, even if you charge them a toonie, they at least paid something to be there for the show. And he goes, no. These are all my regulars. They've been hounding me to do more comedy, and I want to have a comedy night. And we looked at, my wife and I were looking at your page, and we want to have you. So we negotiate a price, which is lower than what I would usually get. But again, it's fucking COVID. So I'm just like, all right, let's go. Let's book it. So fast forward, he promotes the show. He texts me day of, and he goes, hey, we're going to have a great turnout tonight. We got a bunch of reservations. And I go, fuck, great. So Moses comes to my house. We drive to Milton. We pull up to the venue. It's fucking packed. It's 50 people, but it's packed. It's a sports bar. I walk in, and it's in the middle of a rush. Oh, and on the way there, I was going to be a little bit late because the Skyway Bridge was down to one lane. So I texted the guy, hey, buddy, I'm going to be running a little bit late, but don't worry, I'll be there before 8 o'clock when the show starts. He says, no problem. It's all good. I'm not there tonight. My wife's running the show. And I went, holy fuck. That's already 3 strikes. It's too soon. You're not paying for it, and you're not even fucking there. This is going to be bad. But we walk in, and it's fucking packed, and it's in the middle of a rush. So there's servers fucking flying by, managers, people are throwing around bottles and stuff. I literally felt like fucking Pesci in Home Alone when he's pretending to be the cop.
Yeah.
Standing in the hallway. He's going, excuse me, miss. And I go, hey, I'm here for the show. And they're like, oh, yeah, there's a comedy show tonight, right? And I'm like, yeah, there is. There's no signage. There's nothing even written in chalk. Comedy show tonight, whatever. So I go, okay. I sit down at the bar. I get a gin and soda right away. And the girl goes, what do you need from me? And I go, well, first of all, you got to turn off these 70 fucking TVs. And she's like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, and the music. She's like, oh, yeah, I guess you can't have music on either. I'm like, yeah, no, you can't have music on. And I go, where's the stage? And she goes, well, there is no stage. And I was like, okay. I'm like, where am I performing? And she's like, there's a carpet at the end of the room, and it was the dark end of the room. Like all the fucking extra chairs and shit were stacked like upside down. It was the dark corner of the room. And I go, okay, is there lighting? And she's like, well, we have a spotlight, but it's broken. And I was like, okay. I'm like, is there a microphone? And she's like, well, we have a mic, but it's cordless and it cuts out all the time. And I was like, okay, cool. And these are all things, because I'm not a fucking idiot. When he booked me, I'm like, is there a mic? Is there a stage? Is there an area? Yep. He's like, yep. I'm like, cool. I get there. He's not there. There's no fucking stage. Microphone cuts out. No mic stand. No stool. Nothing. A corner of the bar with a fucking carpet.
Yeah, you're just a fucking homeless person ranting to them.
So Moses, I turn to Moses and I go, it's packed, but I go, I don't think these people are here for the comedy show. Because I'm looking around the room and everyone's eating fish because it's Friday night. And I'm like, these people aren't here for comedy. They're here for fucking fish and chip night. So that was one strike, or the fucking 17 strike. Then the way they had the room set up, it was a square. They had high top, then low top, then high top, then low top, then high top.
Can't see over the people.
So yeah, so if anyone who was sitting behind a high top couldn't fucking see anything. So I turned to the girl. I go, "What's with the table?" She goes, "Yeah, I told them not to set it up like that, but nobody listens to me here." And I was like, "Amazing." So I turn to Moses. I go, "All right, let's just fucking do this. We're getting paid, so I'm here. Let's go." So Moses goes 15. These people talked through his entire and I'm not even saying talked, like yelled, because he's talking through a microphone that's cutting out. They're going, "Well, we're trying to have a conversation here, so I guess we have to talk and yell." So he goes up, and I know Moses' set because he works with me all the time. I could tell as he was getting to the end of his set, and it literally felt like one of those fucking French Revolution movies where the guy like fucking ties a blindfold, lights a cigarette, puts his hand behind his back, and it's like in front of a firing squad. I'm like, they're gonna fucking shoot me. Let's go.
Yeah.
So Moses closes like this. "Well, you didn't listen to the black guy, so hopefully you'll listen to the white guy. Please welcome Eric Johnston." So I go up. I'm wearing a shirt like this, like short sleeve with the fucking gold on. So I have my usual opening line where I say, "I know I'm coming up here. I look like the manager of a failing strip club." It's my usual opening line. That gets a pop. And I'm like, oh, they're listening. This is great. And then I do riff on some table because on my way to stage, some chick spilled a drink all over herself. So I riffed on that. Then everybody laughed because everybody saw it. And I'm like, all right. So the second I start going into my first piece of material, again, roaring talking. And I'm like, this is fucked. And I go, I'm going to do some inventory here to see how many people are actually here for this show. So I'm standing on the stage and I'm pointing at people. I'm like, "Are you here for the comedy show?" They're like, "No, I'm here for fish and chip night." I'm like, "Cool." I'm like, "Are you here for the comedy show?" They're like, "No, half price mussels." I'm like, "Cool." Of 50 people, 6 people ended up being there for the comedy show. There was 2 or 3 couples of 2 who came specifically to see me.
Yeah, you're ambushing them.
Yeah, so I start trying to go back into material. Now there's a table full of like maybe 6 or 7 gay guys who are yelling out because they're going to a pumpkin patch after the show, and they're like, "We're doing shots, pumpkin patch, fuck it." They're doing shots and yelling and stuff. So I go, "Hey guys, can you fucking relax? Can you calm down? Like, can you calm down? Like, shut the fuck up." And the guy goes, "Why? Because I'm gay?" And I went, "No, because you're yelling." I go, "It has nothing to do with you being gay." I go, "I love gays. I watch RuPaul Drag Race every fucking day. Has nothing to do with you being gay." He's like, "You're homophobic." So I swear to God, the gay guy grabs the wife, the manager's wife, and complains and says, "This guy's homophobic. He's yelling at me, telling me to shut the fuck up."
He obviously hasn't seen you wearing those fucking fruit roll-ups you call pants.
or the online dancing videos I've been doing a lot of recently.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Brutus the Barber Queef Cake.
Andrew Dice Gay, everybody. So they call over the wife. She goes to the table. They complain to her. Now, because these gay guys are regulars, she starts thinking about it as a business rather than a performance. And I swear to God, in 10 years of comedy, this has never happened to me. The lady walked up to me on the stage like I'm here with the mic. She walks up to me in my face and goes, "These are my regulars, so you better calm the fuck down." And I go, man. All right, you know what? I've been doing comedy for 10 years. This is the least professional show I have ever fucking done. I don't need you people. Good night. Yeah. Boom. Slam the mic on the stool. It wasn't even a stool. It was a fucking chair because I didn't have a stool. And I stormed to the bar. I said, "Give me my fucking money right now."
Yeah, pretty much. That's all you can do.
Yeah. And so I go outside. She's like, "We're paying you?" I'm like, "Oh, we're paying you. Hold on." I go outside. I call the owner. I explain everything that happened. And I go, "And you weren't here, so you couldn't manage it. I'm not leaving here without my money." And the girl comes back out and her fucking hands are shaking. She's counting out 20s.
The wife or the
bar manager, this poor fucking girl.
Yeah.
Who she said that nobody listens to her. So she's shaking, she handed me out the money. Fuck, it was $300 cash. I handed Moses 50. I took 250, went to the bar, and we got drunk.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got paid. So I thought it was over there. And I'm like, well, whatever, bad gig. We'll tell this story for the rest of our lives. Fuck it. We're in this together, Moses. As old men, we'll be laughing about this. Then Moses and I go to Club Absinthe in Hamilton. And on Friday nights, Club Absinthe is a fucking gate, like a drag night. Like Adam and Steve, these great local promoter guys, do a drag night every Friday. It's a ton of fun. There's chicks there and music and whatever. And guys who look like chicks are there. It's
However
great.
You want to sell it to me.
I like to pop it. It's a fun time. So anyways, I'm there and my phone starts going off like, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Sure, it was your phone?
Yeah, yeah, it was me watching the Drake show. My balls. And I check, it's all these Twitter notifications. I'm like, Twitter? I barely even fucking use Twitter.
Oh, boy.
And it was the guy who I told to shut the fuck up went on this massive thread, like in a fucking row. Eric Johnston is the worst comedian I've ever seen. He's homophobic. If you're an LGBT plus ally, he's homophobic. Stay away from him. Stay far away from him. And so
you're the least like that, by the way, that I know. Like,
I know. I'm accepting everyone. My demographic is gays and single moms. Bring them all to the shows. They buy all the tickets. So, anyways, I'm like, I wasn't going to respond. I was like, you know what? I should not feed this fucking troll because he's just looking for a response. But I was at a drag show and he's calling me homophobic. So I went up to the stage and I took a picture of the drag performer and I tweeted it back at him and I said, "Enjoy the pumpkin patch, baby." And again, fuck you, you're a child. Like this, and I just left it. But yeah, that was a fun. That story from last week fucking inspired the show.
Meanwhile, he doesn't realize that in that photo behind you, that's not a cigar in your hand. You cropped out the Cuban guy that's standing there.
Hey, branding is branding. Yeah. So, anyways, that was last Friday, and that was and as I was like, I don't need you guys. Good night. I slammed down the mic. All the people who weren't there for the show were like, "Yeah, fuck you," because now they won, right? And then the 6 people who were at the show were like, "We're so sorry. We heard great things about you. We're here to see you." And
you look like you took your ball and ran home, right?
Yeah, literally. It looks like they won it. I'm like, "Fuck you guys. Give me my money." But yeah.
You got to sucker punch someone on the way out the door.
Too bad I don't know how to fight.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable some of the shit you get into, and it all comes from people not doing their due diligence for the most part.
Yeah. Well, like what Todd Glass says. There's that part in one of the documentaries when he's just like, a stage, a light, a microphone, curtains, a fucking focus, put the attention forward. That's all you need. And he's like fucking yelling it. But people just don't get it. They're just like, well, we got the hockey game on, so try to not interrupt that.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to think of another one oh fuck. There's so many. There's so many bad ones.
I know that you've had some fucking. If you want, it's not necessarily a funny story, but one time you killed. Not you. Literally, somebody died at one of your shows.
Yeah, that was at Yuck Yucks in Vaughan, and it was before the show happened, actually. So it was everyone's buzzing. It was a sold out show. It was lined up out the door. Saturday nights, that venue would be always packed.
Yeah, and
it was really packed that night because I used to live in that area, so I went to high school in King City. So I had a whole bunch of friends come out, and they came out to check out the show. And there was a guy in the crowd who I think it was a heart attack. I don't know exactly what happened, but he went down like right before the show. And it was, you just hear his wife screaming for help. This is one of the worst. Yeah, this is one of the worst experiences I've ever had at a show. I can't, nothing worse has ever happened at a show for me. I remember her specifically yelling, "Is there a defibrillator here?" And all you hear is the person, one of the guys in the back, just go, "No," and then the place just went, "Oh!" Like it was like it was just so sickening. And then and I got to give credit to the staff at Yuck Yucks. The guy who was working in the kitchen, he came out and he was trying to do CPR, trying to, revive the guy. But that's always a bad sign when the guy who's performing CPR and he's the guy who's fucking up your wings in the back.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good scenario.
He's like, hold on, I know CPR.
Yeah, and the show ended up being canceled because he passed away in the room. So it was the cops had to come in and perform like a crime scene. It was, to make sure it wasn't a crime scene. They had to do all their, protocol and stuff. And it was just so unfortunate. It went from everyone having such a good time and we're ready to have a good time to the worst thing that could happen. And I never found out who it was or whatever. I feel horrible for them. And listen, I need all the fucking fans I can get. Like,
you can't even lose one.
I appreciate every single person who comes out to my shows that spends their money to come out and see comedy, unless they're a cunt. Like the guy in my trailer that gave me the finger as I'm walking off stage. Why couldn't that fucking prick have died? Like,
that guy was probably a real fan.
If someone's gonna die during my show, can't we just if I should get to pick?
Like someone's going down and it's you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because comedians obviously talk and things like that get spread so fucking quickly. Like all the words were, somebody fucking died at Tyler Morrison's show, and every comic's tag was like, well, he fucking killed. That's great. He's a killer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if he dies before the show, it's less funny and more of a sad story. But
people are dying to see me, baby.
They died to see. They couldn't even get in the showroom.
But it was just, it was just so unfortunate. And like the other guys on the show, it was Jeff Elliott was hosting, and I think it was Alex Wood on the show. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do here. Like, if you guys aren't comfortable, if they're making it, if we have to perform still, like, you don't have to go on. Like, I'll go on and handle it. I would. I think I could, but it'd be tough.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we didn't have to. It's too bad that we weren't able to just do like a refund and do a quick turnaround on that show to do it again, because there was a lot of people that were actually there. Sometimes, like we said, they don't come; they're not there to see you, but there was a lot of people specifically there to see me.
Yeah,
so
because it's your area, right? Yeah. So
would have been nice to go like a do-over that was like sooner, but it's what it is.
This my mom brought up, but my mom watches every show. She said, tell the story about your corporate gig at an airplane hangar. I'll tell you quick. My mom got me a gig it's called the Eagles and Astons group. And it's a bunch of fucking rich guys.
Never good.
Yeah, who own Aston Martins and planes. They own planes. That's why it's called Eagles and Astons. It was at Pearson in like hangar 1A, like where the celebrities go out of, like when they're flying out of their private jets. Mm-hmm. And I show up and there's like 500 fucking people there. It was the first time that I had ever been paid $1,000 to do stand-up. And I was just like, oh my God, this is fucking huge. And I show up, and comedians know that a showroom is supposed to be a low ceiling, like basement style show.
Yeah.
It's a fucking airplane hangar. So,
high ceiling.
Yeah.
The lots are getting sucked out of there, man.
Literally the highest ceiling you could ever fucking get. So it wasn't mic'd properly or sound properly. So I would go like, hey, how are you guy. It was fucking nuts. So they do dinner. They want to bring me up to do like 30 to 40 after dinner. And I go, okay, it's a hot summer night. So because it was getting hot in the airplane hangar, they fucking opened the door. The airplane hangar behind me. So I'm standing in front of an open fucking hangar door. And this is the best. I'm on stage and fucking a private jet lands and fucking taxis right up behind me, right to my hangar. The fucking door goes down, and R.A. Dickey, who was the fucking pitcher for the Jays at the time, comes out of the fucking plane. And he hears that there's an airplane hangar full of cars, like Aston Martins and shit, and Lamborghinis and Alfa Romeos and stuff like that. I'm not a car guy, so I don't give a fuck. But he's like, oh, I'd like to go check that out. So fucking R.A. Dickey walks in past me, like kind of waves to the people because they're like, great arm this year, R.A. Like, fucking...
and you know who he is when he walks in. He has a distinct look, right? He's got the long hair,
like a Jays windbreaker on too. Like he wasn't subtle about it. So he's looking at all these fucking cars, and people are following him around, asking him for autographs and fucking pictures while I'm trying to do material.
Oh yeah.
So then I start doing crowd work, and I'm trying to like work on these fucking people and break them open. I say something about something, and the guy goes, "Hey, how long's this guy going for?" And the guy who booked me goes, "Another half hour." And he goes, "I gotta take off, buddy." And this is the best part. Because they drove their cars in there to show them off, when they left, they had to drive their cars out of the fucking hangar.
They squealing?
Yeah, but they're driving past the fucking stage, out the door that I'm standing in front of performing.
Yeah.
So I'm on stage like, so I'm moving out of my mom's house and blah, 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 blah. And a fucking Alfa Romeo goes by it and fucking does a burnout and takes off or whatever.
That's like the drive-in shows now, though. That was a hell gig before COVID. Now it's
and now I'm like, ooh, is there a hangar we can work?
Yeah.
And then the guy who booked me, he comes kind of close to the stage and goes, "Hey, I'll still pay you. Don't worry about it." And I go, "Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Have a good night." Fucking came off, gave me $1,000 cash. I went and got a picture with R.A. Dickey, and we got the fuck out of there.
Fucking sweet. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's so funny how things can go. Here's a weird one. This one made me fucking laugh, actually. I got brought in, and I'm not going to name the comic who opened for me because it's like not really the best story for him. It's he fucking sucks though, and he knows.
No wonder why you're like, I'm not going to bring his name because he fucking sucks.
And he knows that he sucks, and he'll know that I'm talking about him right now. Well, we're doing this gig in Toronto at like a private event. We go in there, and it's for like a poker kind of gambling charity night.
Okay.
All guys, and I'm probably a good booking for that, but those guys don't really give a fuck about comedy. When they're gambling, they don't fucking care about comedy, right?
Hot streak.
That's right. It's a whole other, you want to talk about interrupting someone's night.
Yeah.
You're interrupting their night.
Yeah.
But they have, before the comedy show, they bring out disgraced Olympic runner Ben Johnston. Love Ben, though.
I thought you were going to say Donovan Bailey.
No, Donnie's fucking sweet. But
Yeah.
Ben, man, even sweeter. I fucking love a good fucking cheater, eh?
Oh, yeah. But that's a comedian's mentality by any means necessary. Just get the gig.
Ben did what he tried, man.
Yeah.
They fucked him. They really fucked him on that one, eh?
Yeah.
But Ben comes out and he's doing all the, like a meet and greet, signing autographs, doing photos and shit. I'll get my photo with Ben Johnston. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then so I'm like, that's kind of an odd way to start the night. And then they bring on the guy who's opening, who, like I mentioned before, he fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But they told us, the two guys that were running it, they're brothers, and everyone there knows them, and they know that I do the roast and stuff. So they're like, hey, a good way to break the ice with this crowd is just kind of like give us a bit of a roasting before you start doing your material.
Yeah.
They'll probably get into it because they all know us.
Yeah.
But Buddy, who's opening, got the same note.
Oh, fuck.
He shows up with like a full fucking roast of these guys, like on cue cards, like it's Comedy Central. And he comes on with his cue cards, and he's just like laying down jokes. They're mean, but they're not funny.
Yeah.
And the crowd doesn't know why this guy is doing that. So now they're against this guy because he's being so mean to their friends, the people that put the night on. It was just the wrong temperature. Right? He read that note wrong. Like it's one of those things where you go up and you make a couple ball busting jokes, and then you start going into your set. You don't show up with the cue cards and start going on like a full roast.
Yeah.
But he fucking stuck to the script, and he kept going.
I love that comedian's mentality of I'll get him back. Don't worry, I'm gonna close big with these guys.
Oh, buddy, it was bad. And then the guy, one of the people running it, he comes in front of the crowd, walks by everyone, walks up and grabs the mic out of the comic's hand. He goes, "Guys, I'm so sorry. My brother is the one that booked this guy. This guy fucking sucks. I had nothing to do with this. I'm sorry." Gives the mic back, and the comic keeps going.
Oh my god!
Back into jokes, acting like nothing happened, and he's bombing hard.
Yeah,
huge dude comes out. Like we're talking 6'5", burly guy. Burly looks like a linebacker or like an offensive lineman. He was a big man. Comes out and he goes, "What the fuck is this shit? You're bombing. We're paying you to be here, and this is the shit that you bring to the stage? You fucking suck. Get off the stage." And I'm feeling horrible. Never mind, I got to go on after this. I'm feeling bad for the kid that's on in front of me who, did I mention, sucks at comedy. I just say this because I like to bust his balls.
Yeah.
But Buddy doesn't even miss a beat. Just keeps going back into the act.
Oh, my God.
That dude that came out and yelled at him was intimidating. I'd even give pause to it.
Yeah.
And I don't mind mixing it up a bit. But that's a guy you think twice about, maybe I should wrap it up. I'm only opening. Keeps going. Finally, one of the brothers that's running it comes back over to the stage. He's like, you're done. It's over. You're done. Gets on. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry. That was horrible. That guy is brutal. No reflection of how this night's supposed to be. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for a real comedian. Oh, it's the worst. Brings me on. I have no choice now but to throw my buddy under the bus.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah,
not even
you gotta level the room and say, "Hey, I'm aware of what just happened too."
Yeah, there was no way to not acknowledge it, and I think I said something like, "I haven't seen anyone eat shit like that in public since the Chilean miners were freed." But it was, again, I didn't even know the comic that well. Like, I know him now, but like I didn't really know him at the time. So it's even worse coming, especially if you're more established than that guy. I don't like that. Normally I would never do that, but it absolutely had to be addressed, and in some sort of funny way to take power. And I think any comic would understand that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I go in, and I think I probably won back 25% of that room, which was
that's huge. That's like getting a standing ovation. Yeah.
But it was a horrible set, and the people talking over it the whole time. Again, they're talking louder over the mic. Yeah. They couldn't really get any true momentum. I had no chance at that stage, right? Yeah. So I come off the stage after my set. Whatever. I wasn't, it is what it is. I knew I was fucked before I even started.
Yeah.
Because there was no way to get their attention back. Comedy was dead for that room when I came on. There's no way they wanted it anymore.
Yeah.
The guys who are running the thing come out. They're like, "All right, now it's time to bring out the midgets." I'm not fucking making this up. I'll send you the clips that you can post after this when you share this out or whatever.
Yeah.
These dudes come out, these midget wrestlers. They got the masks and shit. The luchadors.
Yeah. I probably know exactly the guys you're talking about. Yeah,
you probably do know these guys. So that huge guy that was with him. He was the huge guy that was yelling was with the luchadors.
Oh, I know exactly who this is.
You know these
guys.
His
name is Bloody Bill Scullion, the guy who yelled at the guy, the big guy. He was used to wrestling with my dad, and then he had he wanted me to go on tour with them, which thank God I didn't. And I can't remember the two guys' names, but they were like Pepper Jack and whatever. They were dressed like one was dressed like a red pepper, and the other guy had like a green mask.
Yes.
Oh, yes. I know exactly.
I love that you know who these guys are, and I figure if anyone would, you'd be one of them.
Yeah.
One of the guys. So they come out and they are just doing hardcore wrestling all over the bar, just like flipping each other and like suplexing. It is insane. Like they're destroying the whole place. It was so fun. I'm just sitting there like, I wish every time a show went bad, I just had a button and I'd just go, "Bring out the midgets."
Where's Bloody Bill Scully? And he needs to save the day here.
Oh, those guys are fucking awesome, man. So I go in the back afterwards. I'm drinking, and Buddy, the comic who bombed, didn't leave. By the way, he sticks around. This motherfucker's mingling, passing out business cards and shit. Buddy,
the delusion.
Go home. You're fucking done. You have a set like that. It's like when Michael Corleone shoots the cop. You don't make eye contact. You drop the gun. You walk out of the fucking restaurant, bud. That's exit stage left.
Yeah.
But no, he's hanging out. He's eating hors d'oeuvres. cheap motherfucker.
Oh, I love it. I can't wait for you to tell me who it is after we get off air. But yeah.
Well, you know him too. You'll know exactly who I'm talking about when I tell you.
I love it. Well, at least you guys didn't drive together there, because that's always the worst when you're with another comic and they fucking tank, and then you sit and listen and make excuses in the car after.
I've never let this guy in my car. No. I love being mean, but I ended up like doing another show with him. I've seen him be funny since.
Well, that's good. I hope. It's funny. I saw him once do okay, and he kept him around for another 5 years. No, but yeah, it's funny you just said that. It's fun to be mean because, people who don't know you as a person and don't know, they see your comedy and they go, well, that guy's a fucking asshole. Like, you and I have had such good like heart-to-hearts and stuff about industry and stuff when people are like, so Tyler Morrison? I'm like, yeah, great guy. One of the nicest guys I know in comedy, actually. And they're like, really? Like the guy who yells cunt at people? I'm like, nah, it's more of a thing on the stage. You know what I mean? Like,
and I'd throw you under the bus in a fucking second.
I know you would. Well, that reminds me of our next the hell gig, that roast that I was on where I got fucking destroyed.
Oh, is that with the Todd Shapiro one?
Yeah, the Todd Shapiro Chirp Show fucking thing. I want to talk about it quickly because I think it needs to be resolved as to what actually happened, because I've been hearing grumblings about this fucking show for years.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So I used to co-host with Todd because Todd he's not funny. He couldn't carry a fucking, I don't give a fuck. I wouldn't cross the street to kiss or fucking piss on Todd if he was on fire. I wouldn't kiss him either.
I got to say this too. Like, me and Todd are cool. So your relationship with Todd is definitely different, but I'll hear what you have to say.
I'll just tell you what happened. And this is why I don't like him. And I loved him. I used to co-host that show all the time. He was great, whatever. So anyways, I used to co-host the show and it was, I'd always come in like once a week and whatever. And he was talking about, hey, we're going to get sponsorship for this. And I make sure you get paid for that. Nothing ever happened. That's fine. That's comedy. When they're like, oh, we're going to get you paid and get you with this. Like, okay, cool. Anyways, after one of the shows in like October, he says to me, he says, hey, we're doing this show in December. It's a Christmas comedy show. I'd love for you to be a part of it. I know you would fucking kill on this thing, man. I'd love for you to be a part of it. I go, okay, man, that's cool. Yeah, I'll send you a headshot and a little short little bio. Anything else you need from me, let me know. Just book it. I'm available on that date, whatever you need.
Okay, I know where this is going. And
so he goes, okay, cool. And I go, so what's the show? And he goes, it's kind of a top secret thing, man. We're not really telling people what the show is. All you need to know is that you're going to be great and you're going to be on the show. And I go, okay, cool, man. We're getting like closer to the gig and I don't even know what this fucking show is.
Yeah.
And then the promo goes out. Chirp Fest 2018 or 2017, whatever fucking year it was.
Yeah.
Canada's version of Roast Battle, hosted by Tyler Morrison. Fucking, and I'm like, holy fuck. I'm fucked. I'm not a roast comic. And plus, my kind of brand is easy.
He didn't tell you were roasted before?
He did not tell me it was a roast until the promo went out.
Okay.
So I messaged Todd and I go, buddy, what the fuck is this? I go, I didn't sign up for a roast battle. And he goes, oh, well, I knew you'd be great at it, man. And, the promo's already out, so you can't really not do it. And I'm like, this fucking guy. I'm like, all right, cool. So the fucking time, comes up. We're getting close to the show. Then the official lineups for the show go out, who I'm facing. And, you have your little problems in comedy. If someone doesn't like that guy or someone didn't pay that guy or whatever. Now, there's this kid, this Matt kid. He fucking doesn't like me because I wouldn't book him on Comedy in the Creek. He asked me to book, and I just said, hey, dude, it's a pro run show, and I just don't think you're ready. So he had a vendetta against me. So
you guys had a feud prior to.
Yeah, we had a feud because I wouldn't book him because he wasn't ready. If he was ready, I would have booked him. But he's only been doing comedy for like 2 years, and people are paying for the show. So I just said, hey, man, you're not ready, whatever. So then he created this I hate Eric Johnston movement and fucking went out. Eric Johnston thinks he's an all-star booker, says he supports Hamilton, but he only books comic from Toronto, all this shit. So doesn't Todd hear about this, that this kid fucking hates me? Guess who I'm going up against on this fucking roast battle?
No. I gotta say this. I don't think Shapiro even fucking knew that guy hated you. I think I fucking was the one that goes, oh, these guys got some juice. Fucking put them against each other. That was me.
Years later, now I fucking know.
Fuck you, Johnson.
You piece of shit.
I'm so friends with him to say, fuck you. That was after a heel turn.
So, anyways,
I don't think Todd knew. I didn't know whatever. I didn't know much. I'm like, oh, these guys got a little juice. Let them go at it, right? That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah, and
Get it out of the system.
Rightfully so. So, anyways, so you put me up against this guy. I don't even want to say his full name because I don't think he deserves it. But, anyways, he fucking I get there. Now I'm up against someone who we have actual beef. So, okay. So now I'm thinking like this with the wrestling background of my dad. I go, okay, if they want me to be the bad guy in this, I'll fucking lead into it. I'll be the heel. I'll go against this guy. I'm the kind of more established bad guy, and he's the young up-and-coming stoner comic that wants everyone to love him or whatever. That's the way I'm thinking about it. Okay, cool. So I'm going on, I'm promoting the show, and I'm fucking laying into this kid. Like, you're a fucking open micer. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm a professional comedian. Like, anyways, I lean in rather than shy away from it and say, I'm not doing this fucking show. I go forward.
Do you go more wrestling heel than joke teller in that scenario? Is that what happened?
Yeah, because I'm not because they're awful. I barely wrote anything. I was just like, I'm just gonna fucking attack this kid for being an open micer. He shouldn't be talking to me the way he is. He didn't get the show because he wasn't ready. That's my move. That's how I'm gonna go approach this. So then I wrote some jokes. I said he looks like a fucking Build-A-Character from Tony Hawk Pro Skater and all this shitty stuff.
You do jokes, but the crowd doesn't pick up on any inside.
Yeah, so they're just like, oh, okay, and half the crowd doesn't even know what an open micer is.
That's right. So it's that puts you in a spot where if you go inside baseball too much, they're not going to understand in the crowd and
exactly. So I go at him, and I get like maybe, and plus it was loud in there because everyone's walking around talking, listening to music.
It wasn't the best environment for the show.
Anyways, I'm so fucking mad because I know it's not going over, and this kid's probably gonna fucking win. So I go, okay, that's it, and I go to hand him the mic, and I drop it, so it makes a big fucking boom.
Yeah.
As a disrespect to him, I won't even hand him a microphone. But what happened is that fucking mic smacked the ground. It made a huge noise, and everyone's like, what's going on over there? And everyone walked over to the stage. So now now he's got the full attention of the audience, and I'm standing there fucking shaking. I'm so mad. So he has some great, he had some great stuff. I think he got some help. He fucking destroyed me, and I will openly admit that. I remember he said something about like Eric's dad was a professional wrestler, so that means Eric's mom has fucked more guys than Vince McMahon or whatever. Like, just like there was like a bunch of wrestling and stuff. He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. He destroyed me, and I openly said it. And I said, "Okay, thank you, good night." I got the fuck off stage. Then my approach is, "Okay, well, my girlfriend's here. Let's just get drunk and we'll go home and whatever. This night's done." So I go home. It's over.
You still got that girlfriend? Same girlfriend?
No. She's back. We shipped her back. We shipped her back to Sudbury.
She gone.
So anyways, that night's over. I'm like, okay, fuck it, it's over, whatever. Then a couple weeks later, it's the Yuck Yucks Christmas party. Doesn't this fucking kid come up to me, push me, smack my drink out of my hand, and go, "I heard you're talking shit." And I was like, what? He's like, "I heard you talking shit about me." I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like, if anyone asked me what happened at that show, I said, I didn't know it was a roast battle, and you fucking destroyed me. I don't know. What do you want me to say? And he goes, "I heard you were calling me a skid." And I was like, what fucking...
That's a great fucking thing.
What? I was like, what is this, 99? What are you, the manager of a Randy River? First of all, you are a fucking skid, but I'm not going to go around town saying that guy's a real skid. So I go, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Get the fuck out of my face. So then what happened? This Tyler kid was filming the entire thing. He's filming the interaction on his.
Shazma, my boy.
Yeah, Shazma. So he's filming it. I like Tyler. I still like Tyler. Whenever I run into Tyler, I'm like, hey, fuck, I love you. But he's filming the fucking entire interaction. Sure. So I walk away from the guy. I go up to Shazma and I go, "You don't have my permission to use that footage, and if I see it anywhere online, I'll fucking sue you." And I walk out. So then I think it's over again. Fuck it, it's over. Then a week goes later, I get a call from a 416 number. It's like Bilal or something, and I go, "Hello." And he's like, "Hey, you're on live on the Todd Shapiro show. Hold on." And I'm like, "What?" And then it's like, boom, you're on the air.
Oh,
and I'm like, and I go, "What the fuck is this?" And Todd's like, "Hey, you're on live on the Todd Shapiro show. Just let you know, we had our chirp fest, but things got physical after the show. We heard that Matthew came up to you and attacked you at the Yuck Yucks Christmas party, and we heard that you were gonna sue him." And I'm like, holy fuck. So I go, I'm on the show, and I go, this is the time for me to fucking clear my head, clear the air here. So I go, no, this is what happened. He came up, pushed me. A kid was filming it. I told the kid that was filming it, don't put that online or I'll fucking sue you. And then
That makes sense.
And then Todd goes, well, that's not what Matthew has to say. And we got him on the other line. He comes on and he's like, fuck you, Eric. You wouldn't fight me, you pussy. You're going around. And I'm just like, you know what? I go, guys, at the time, my TV show was still, my kid show was still in the air. And I went, you know what, guys? I'm on YTV. Goodbye. I can't deal with this shit. I don't want this as to be part of my brand. Goodbye. And I fucking hung up. I texted Todd. I was like, you motherfucker. I'm like, you lied to me about the show. You set me up for failure. Then you sandbag me live on the air. You fucking loser. And then, yeah, that was a hell gig. That was like a 3-week of a hell gig.
I love everyone involved in that situation, and I love that happened to you. I think it's hilarious.
I mean, it's years later. It's kind of funny now. They did plan it pretty well.
I'll say this: you're pretty open about what happened, like on this show. I don't think you're lying about anything. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
like,
honestly, anyone who asks me about what happened with that situation, I go, "This is what happened." And yeah, I saw Todd, and I saw him at an event recently, and I was with a bunch of people, and I saw him just standing in the corner, and I wanted to go up to him and say something to him, and I was just like, you know what? It's not worth it. See you later.
Never forget this, Eric. It was all because of me.
Well, now I know. Thank you very much.
Oh fuck, that's so funny, dude.
I
can't think of another good one another good bad gig.
I was gonna say we'll close out the show with one more banger from you.
Oh, let me see what I just make sure I wrote a few down. These are my notes. Bowling alley gig, mentally challenged kid gig, Kingston, which is the same as mentally challenged kid. And let's do 3 Angels. So this is maybe one of the worst. This is the worst intro you could ever get.
Love it already.
I get a call from this guy, and this is, God, it would have been. When was the tsunami? The tsunami, the big one, like 2006,
2007.
Oh, no, it wasn't that tsunami yet. Oh, it was Haiti. No, this was Haiti.
Oh,
this is
okay.
Haiti one.
2012 or something. Yeah.
I fucked up a tsunami gig too, but
any natural disaster, don't book you immediately after.
Exactly. So I get booked the Haiti earthquake. It's right after. It's the week of, and it's up here. It's in Bracebridge, and the people in Bracebridge couldn't be closer to Haitians, our diplomatic international relationship. We're sisters.
The only thing similar is their somewhat French accents at the right time.
Our small town and their country we're thick. So I get a call from this fucking yo-yo. That's like,
I haven't heard anyone get called a yo-yo in a long time.
That's 80s wrestling lingo. I did that for you. This pencil neck geek calls me up.
Yeah.
But he's like, Tyler, I love your comedy. I'm a huge fan of dark comedy. Love George Carlin. Love Richard Pryor. Doing a show. It's a benefit for the Haiti earthquake victims. Love to have you. I'm like, listen, buddy, if you like what I do, I am the worst person to book on this gig.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, you don't want me. No. I love George Carlin, love Richard Pryor, love dark comedy. He's like so into it that he's selling me on it. I'm like, I don't think this is a good idea though, man. He's like, no, it's cool. We got some bands. It's like a variety type show. So there's a whole bunch of people. Just need to, do like an 8 to 10 minute set. I'm like, well, if it's for the children.
And how much are you paying?
Oh yeah, and I did it for free, right?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Did it for free. This is the gig that made me go, I only charge big bucks now for fucking victims. So I get there, and it's in the local theater, and I think there's like 12 or 14 different bands on this show and musical acts, and I'm the only comedian, obviously, in a small town.
Yeah.
But I go in there, and they're all in this one dressing room, right? But I put on my festival at that theater. I know there's another dressing room. So I go and I take that to myself.
Yeah.
So I'm in there. I got like a cooler of beer in my own dressing room. There's like 40 people in this other little chat.
Full
But
drum sets.
Yeah, it's just, I'm being a prick, right? So, but I see the show's, it's coming up to showtime, and I want to see what this crowd's looking like. So I go into the lobby and I look out, and there's a lot of gray hairs out there. I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't like, it's not my demographic. And I see there's a bunch of kids running around and shit. I'm like, oh,
fuck,
no,
I've done
this
some
is
of those.
not, this is not good, right? So I call my wife, and I go, listen, I'm going on at this time. I got 10 minutes. I want you to be here waiting out back.
Keep the car running.
Legit, 9:10. Just be waiting, because I'm fucking going on stage and I'm coming off and we're out of here.
Yeah.
So, because I know it's going to be bad, but I don't know how bad it's about to get. So before I'm on, there is a trio of high school girls, and they're beautiful singers, right? And one's playing the piano, and they're all singing, and they're called the Three Angels.
Okay.
And the Three Angels go on, and they sing a cover of Beyonce Halo, but with piano. It's slowed down.
Beautiful arrangement.
Unbelievable angelic voices of the Three Angels. That's, I think, where they got their name.
Yeah.
And, they bring the entire theater to tears. They move them to tears. People are sobbing and weeping. I think they got maybe the pictures of the kids from Haiti on the screen. Everyone's fucking moved to tears because, remember, we're like this with Haiti.
Yeah.
And and you know what? We're raising $2,000 tonight. And it's
yeah. We're sending straws down there.
Bro.
Yeah.
So the crowd's fucking crying. Like, there are people sobbing.
Yeah.
And then the fucking host comes on. I was like, and now it's time for a little comic relief. Time for the local comedian, Tyler Morrison. And I come out, and this place is just fucking not ready for this.
Yeah.
And I think my opening line was like, I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, out of respect to the victims of the Haiti earthquake, I normally don't do this, actually, but I'm going to have to ask you to take your cell phones off of vibrate. And it takes them a second, and they're just like, now they're not liking me at all, right?
I forgot that it was an earthquake. I'm like, why is that funny? Then I remembered it. I'm like, oh, yeah.
And then so I do my set, but there's like people that were actual like friends of mine and fans of what I do in the crowd. So I'm doing all right with like half the crowd. I'm popping, so I'm getting what I want out of it too, right? But the other half of that crowd is just pissed.
Yeah.
Do the set, Michael Corleone, that shit right out the side door. But it wasn't a full bomb, but it was it wasn't so. I can't call it a full bomb, but I call it I definitely ruined the show.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of those sweet ones where it's like it goes bad for some people, but a lot of people still enjoyed it, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah, exactly.
The next day, I call up the theater. Hey, how's it going? And I know the girl that runs the box office. She's like, Tyler, what did you do last night? What did you do? The box office is ringing off the hook with complaints today. They're just getting blown up. I got like the record for box office complaints at this theater because of this fucking Hades show. She goes, yeah, apparently you said the N-word. Yeah, I'm going to go on a Haiti benefit and drop the N-word to the white guy. Yeah, that's real smart, right?
Yeah, well, that's funny how those telephone games, literally a telephone game will change the story.
So I go, tell the promoter to fucking call me. What the fuck is this that someone's saying I was dropping N-bombs up there? That's insane. Yeah. I fucking never did that. So he calls me up, and he's chewing me out now. He's yelling at me.
Oh, yeah.
He's like crying. He's so mad. You ruined the show. You said the N-word. I'm like, where the fuck did I say the N-word? He's like, you're banned from the DVD. I'm like, the DVD of the Hope for Haiti benefit in Bracebridge? I'm like, where did I ever give you permission to film my fucking set?
Yeah.
Then I just turn it around on him.
Yeah.
You never signed anything. You can film me. I'm not banned from the DVD. Your DVD's fucking banned from me.
Yeah. You pulled to me. If I see that online, I'll sue you.
Like, I'm gonna fucking sue you, and I'm gonna fucking. I want to know who fucking is defaming me and saying that I said the N-word. I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. Why don't you go on your little fucking DVD and watch and come back and tell me where I said the N-word, because I know I didn't and I never would.
Of course.
And I'm like, go watch that. Come back. You're going to be apologizing to me, and then you're going to have you're going to go and tell every other person that said that they're wrong.
Yeah,
and tune them up. And so this guy calls back 10 minutes later, and he is crying. He is apologizing and all this. And it was such a production, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Bracebridge Hope for Haiti DVD is out next week.
But did you find out where they thought you said the N-word?
Well, yeah, I know where it was. I did a joke.
You're like, well, I didn't say the N-word, but it didn't go well.
It was a racist joke. And, I just didn't say the N-word. No.
That's so funny.
I think the joke was it was February, right? I'm like, God, my favorite holiday's in February. Groundhog Day. What's the rule there again? Groundhog comes out, sees a shadow, and Black History Month ends early.
Oh my God.
Because they get screwed over on that.
Yeah, that's what Bill Burr has talked about. He goes, the gays get June, a beautiful summer month, and the blacks get February, which is the shortest month of the year, and the shittiest month of the fucking year.
Yeah, that's true.
And everyone's like, yeah, shut this guy down. Oh fuck. Yeah, I had one like that. You just jogged a memory. I did a cancer benefit, and just quickly, right before I went on, they introduced it was like a benefit for a girl who this is what happened. They planned the benefit as a fundraiser to save her, but they planned it. They booked it. She died before the show happened, but they continued on with the show as now a memorial after the death type thing, fundraiser. So right before me, I'll never forget it. It was me and Sandra Battellini, and right before me, the dad of the girl who died goes up and he's telling the entire story. We had to do 17 rounds of chemo, and when she lost her hair or whatever, all we wanted was for her to make it to her 8th birthday, and she just almost made it. She just didn't make it, and all this stuff. And then he's crying. The entire audience is crying, and then they go, "All right. Well, thank you, Anthony, for sharing that with us. Now the comedic stylings of fucking Eric Johnston." And I went up, and you know what? I can't remember what I said to kind of break them out of the spell. It was just like a very simple line or whatever. They were out of it, and then I went into it, and then we were fine. And then Sandra comes up to me, and as I'm walking off, she's walking on. She goes, "How the fuck did you do that?" I went, "I don't even know what just happened."
I don't know, man. Yeah, that's the craziest thing. I don't know why people do that. They never think when they do that. And it's like, there was one I booked Jeff McHenry and Graham Chittenden on a corporate gig for Swiss Chalet. And right before they got brought up, they were giving out the awards for who sold the most chicken. And this one guy gets up, this brown dude, and gets up and he freaks out. He's like, "This is fucking bullshit. We have amounts of chicken this year." And I was trying to not do that as like a racist way of saying that.
The story.
Like, it was a tasteful way of doing the accent, I thought.
You're like what Mark Anthony Synagoga does a brown accent. It's not quite brown, but it's almost.
Yeah, we have sold copious amounts of chicken this year. and it's a huge fight. And then they're like, "And now a moment of silence for the troops." So the moment of silence for the troops, and this is probably during the war in Afghanistan that's going on, and and then they got the comedians come up. Everyone just gets up and goes to the buffet, and it's just bomb fest. But they always fuck you right before you come.
I always say they like when I'm booking a corporate, they're like, "What do you require?" I'm like, as long as they're not eating when I'm performing.
Yeah, I try to get every time.
Like last corporate I did a couple months ago before all this shit shut down. They were like, "Okay, like literally the buffet's open, and please welcome Eric Johnston." And as I'm walking, people are walking past me towards the fucking bread station. Oh
yeah,
God. But you know what? It's been a wild ride for both of us. I'm approaching 10 years, and I've done the military bases and stuff. Like we actually had a good night at the base in Petawawa. But the guy came up to us after and said, "I'm fucking happy that you didn't make any military jokes, because if you did, I would have fucking killed you." And he like dead eyes right into our eyes. And it was me, Clifford Myers, and Jason Allen, a fucking misfit trio. And we just go, no, sir. Thank you, sir. We didn't, sir. Like, we just fucking got the fuck out of there. I went to a Kelsey's.
I told the Canadian military friends and family Christmas party to go fuck themselves. And then I had to do a military gig the next week in Kingston, the same town. And I was like, fuck, this better not be the same crowd. Driving back to Kingston is fucking scary, man.
The open hasn't spread. Yeah, there was a couple like fucking Clifford was up on that show doing crowd work, and he goes, so is your husband here? And the wife goes, no, he's not with us. And Clifford thought that the guy died in action, but she's like, no, he's just not here tonight. And there's a fucking, the whole room just went, oh, thank God. Oh, yeah, it was crazy.
I should clarify too, like the show was fucking a disaster, and I had to like deal with some problems during the show. I didn't just go in and tell them to go fuck them.
Hey, everybody, go fuck yourself.
I love the troops.
Yeah, no, dude, I think, oh, fuck. It's funny, we as we come to the end of this episode, it's like, you remember, it's funny because you don't want the bad nights, obviously, but you learn from the bad nights. But when you're talking about your career and you're looking at the birth of your career, and you're at 18, I'm at 10, you had so many good nights, like with me with performing at the Comedy Store, the Laugh Factory, doing my own tours, and with you and the roast at the Comedy Store and shit like that. There's so many good nights, and there's video of it and you can remember it that way, but nothing gets comics going better than talking about hell gigs. There's nothing. It's just like, we're a bunch of old men just sitting like one time in Petawawa, like,
Oh yeah, it's the best, man.
They scar you, and they're terrifying. And people, people always, when they find out your community, have you ever get heckled? It's like, no, I don't get heckled, but sometimes I show up for a show and there isn't a microphone. That's getting heckled. You know what I mean? It's like
getting heckled by the booker.
I get heckled by production. So like, that kind of shit happens. But you know what? I think you and I have both had our fair share of good nights that, it just works out. It's fine,
Totally. And I think it's just something I think it's important to say that comedians, no matter what stage that you're in and how long you've been in it, these are the type of things that do unite us as comics. And hey, maybe you don't like that guy's style, or you don't think this guy's funny, but at a certain stage, if you're in it long enough and those people are in it long enough, it's like you kind of look at like, hey, that guy's still here, I'm still here.
Yeah.
We've kind of gone through similar things. You can kind of forget some of the small hangups and things that divide the scene.
Yeah.
You see the stuff that happens in Toronto and all the infighting online that goes on in these scenes where people don't branch out and go elsewhere. Yeah. And I find that the comics that do go across this country and do work everywhere and actually go and test themselves outside of their own neighborhood, they come back with a new perspective, and you'll find that you'll have that bond with a comedian maybe you didn't think you had that connection with. Like someone like you, I don't think you're funny. And
you might be right. No, but it's funny, like the start of a war movie where it's like there's the tough guy, there's the smart guy, and you can tell that those conflicting personality types. But then by the end of the movie, they go through battle together and they kind of nudge each other and go, "You're not so bad, eh?" And it's like,
exactly,
it's exactly that.
There's this guy. One time, my brother and I are driving from Bracebridge to Toronto. So we're driving Highway 11 and then Highway 400. And there's this dude in a van, and he had a pink shirt, like a bright pink tight T-shirt.
Was it me?
See? Not homophobic. And this guy's weaving in and out of traffic, just passing everyone. And we raced this motherfucker the whole way. And like he was driving dangerously, and we were driving dangerously too. We raced this motherfucker the whole way, but we didn't like him. He didn't like us. And then at a certain level, we just blew away from all the other cars, and we're just side by side. And we just look at each other and go, eh. That's comedy, man. There's always a guy that you don't like. Yeah. He's wearing a pink shirt, and then at a certain stage, you just look at him like, "Yeah, you're all right, brother."
Yeah. That's exactly what. I didn't even iron my pink shirt for tonight. But yeah, dude, I think exactly, and I think as you get later in your career, you just don't get. You're too busy to give a fuck about the infighting and the bullshit. You're just like, yeah, I'm in this. If you're coming along, let's go. If not, go fuck yourself.
You respect the people that respect the game and respect the hustle and put the work into it. You know what I mean? Like everyone's running their own race, and you get a different perspective the longer you're in. You know?
Yeah. Fuck. I think that's a great way to end the show. I wanted to do an hour and 20, and here we are at 121.
Beauty.
Dude, I love you. We were competing with the debate tonight, and we still did really well for
Okay.
viewers. We'll see how many hundreds we got by the end. Tyler Morrison, if you want to follow him online, Tyler Morrison 123 on Instagram. Follow his Facebook page, and you'll love him. If you're into that style of comedy, he is the guy to see in that style of comedy.
Thank you.
And yeah, I love you, buddy, and it's great to have you on here. And
Thanks, man.
until
And
the next
my podcast, Fight Stories, season 3, going to be coming soon.
That's right.
Go to YouTube. It's Fight Stories. Just go, just YouTube it and subscribe over there. All my stand-up specials are on that channel too, so you can check out some stand-up. And my co-host John Moses, we got some of his comedy on there too. Hilarious guy. But yeah, Fight Stories. It's exactly
Fight Stories, where he interviews hockey players and guys talking about classic fights and shit.
And
so
average shows like just street fighters.
Yeah.
MMA, every type of fighter,
For sure.
We want more chicks. We need some cat fights.
You need some chick fights. I'll walk around Hamilton. I'm like, you should be on my buddy's podcast.
Yeah.
Dude, I love you. Again, everyone to follow him. Tyler Morrison 123. Fight Stories on YouTube. Tyler Morrison on YouTube. Tyler Morrison on Facebook. Buddy, this was great. I can't wait to have you on and see you again in the next gig down the road whenever we can make that happen. All right, buddy. See you later.
Good seeing you too, man.
Yeah.
Cheers.
That is Tyler Morrison, very good friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Hell Gigs episode of Eric Johnston Live. We talked about a couple of our Hell Gigs, and Tyler and I both wrote down kind of stuff that we wanted to talk about by probably 5 or 6 or 7 stories each, and we only got through 3 or 4 of them. So there's more stories. Maybe there'll be a Hell Gigs part 2 down the road. I don't know what the episode's going to be next week, next Thursday night, 9 o'clock. I was thinking something about, maybe he inspired me. Maybe do a fight stories. I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but I'll be back here next week, 9 o'clock, Eric Johnston Live. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Thank you, Chuck. Freaking awesome night. Oh my God, so funny. Crystal, you said I missed the whole show. I came in too late, but I'll tell you this. I immediately take these episodes and put them immediately on YouTube. They're all available on YouTube, and you can all be watched from my website, ericjohnstonwho.com. Part 2 will happen, Chuck. Thank you very much. You guys got a perspective of what it's like to be a Canadian comic in this world, and we've had some great nights. We've had some bad nights, and we'll remember them all. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. Thank you guys so much. If you don't already follow me, I mean, you do because you're here. But if you don't follow me, Eric Johnston Who on Instagram. Tell your friends, Eric Johnston Live is back every night, every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night. Bye.